Hello, everyone. This is Cash from Cloud Soldier. Welcome back again. As you know, we have started our new series AZ-104, which is Azure Associates Administrator. And as usual, with me, I've got my student with me, Omar. How are you? Yes. So you remember we discussed about AZ-104, that how important it is and how it is Microsoft upgrading their services. Before we start that, can you quickly tell me what is cloud computing means? Hello? Virtual machines only. What do you mean by virtual machines? There are about 200 services on Azure. So basically, you would say that cloud computing is a platform which is like lots of companies are working on it, such as the main big ones are Azure, AWS, GCP, Alibaba, Oracle, and all that. But we are interested in Azure at the moment. So if I just show you, say for example, we have done this last one, this topic, how the course has been structured. Now we're getting into getting started with Microsoft Azure. If I open this in my Notion database, as you can see that this is the first link we are going to go. Right. So this is the first main page of Azure Cloud Computing. And if we click to products, and you can see that Azure have about 200 plus services, and they keep updating all the time. And they have divided into different modules, such as these are the popular ones. Azure, like you just mentioned, popular Azure Virtual Machine, Azure Virtual Desktop, databases, Copilot. Microsoft Copilot is like ChatGPT. Azure AI Services, Azure AI Studio. AI Studio, we use it in Azure Services. Cosmos DB is very popular. We'll do all these labs and everything in our coming courses in this coming modules. So Cosmos DB, as you know, that it is kind of like unstructured data. You can store it, not indexed. Oh, sorry, you can index it. Then you got Kubernetes services. As you know, if you are familiar with containerization, we use our Azure Kubernetes service, which is managing. This is a service which manages containers and services like that. So you know that containers are like microservices. We'll discuss also that. Azure Arc, Azure Migrate. Say, for example, if you go to our virtual machine, the popular one, and we can see. So if we go to our all view all the products and see, we can see all these categories. And so basically, cloud computing means all of these services you can access via internet. Before, and still lots of companies, they are using on premises, so that means physical compute services, everything physical, softwares and stuff, and they have to pay and for data centers. But now lots of companies are moving towards cloud, so they can access all these services wherever they are via internet. It's very, very secure, very, very scalable, reliable, and lots of companies moving towards it. Like I said before, AWS, Azure, and GCP are the big ones, and they are using these resources. All right, let me go back into where was I? Yes, and so that's about it. So this is general introduction to Azure, mm, we discussed. Sorry. And if you kindly subscribe and like this, it will really motivate me to make more videos and give me a passion. And hopefully, we'll complete this series and you guys will be able to pass this exam. Bye for now. Take care. Hello, everyone. Hi, Omar. How are you? Good, thanks. Yes, what we are going to do today, as you know, that we have started this new AZ-104 series, and in my last video, I just had a quick introduction that what we are, how we structure this course, and what we're going to learn about and everything. So we are starting today kind of a little bit practical way. So we'll discuss all the services involved in our AZ-104. So one of the first one, if you can see here, we'll talk about uh, the topic which is a part of the topic of the module in the exam, which is called Deploy and Manage Azure Compute Resources. When it comes to compute, what do you think of compute? Compute like computer? Compute, so that's what it means. So basically, we will be talking about like a virtual machine, which is exactly the same way, similar as like a physical machine. Like the reason everybody asks why we use cloud computing, why we use virtual machines. The reason is that you can see that the because one of the services which Azure provides is a virtual machine service, and which is very handy. The reason we use it, say for example, when say for example you're starting a company and you need to have computers before you give it to your employees, so you need to buy computers, you need to have a network, you need to have lots of bits and pieces to connect together to start using it, such as you can see that when a company need in order to host, so for example you want to host an application, you need a physical servers, then you need to host an application which is your website. So it's all quite used to be very lengthy. Now it's just a matter of clicking on a button. So before you used to buy physical servers, buy storage, set up network, and we used I remember these days when we used to go to data centers, and our all the applications used to connect to these data centers via a dedicated line a BT used to provide. So for any issues such as like you're having a problem with your computer, we have to go to data center, get the pass the security, then go inside, connect your laptop, and just go and fix the problem. Sometimes you have a storage problem, sometimes you have computer issues such as operating system, and it all used to cost a lot. Like all this cost money. So there is an initial investment that company used to, and so before you start a company, you have to invest all of that before even you're making money in that. So you have to buy all this hardware and everything and connect to data centers. Large companies will normally set up data centers, like I just said. These centers contain a number of servers, storage, devices, racks. These are called racks. You know these racks? So these are, where is it gone? Yes, so these are called racks. All these big racks. So say for example, in this rack you've got your office app, application. This server has got like your storage. This server has got, so these are like big servers from like maybe have you heard of that called Dell servers? Yeah. So and so all this connected. So for example, this is your office here in separately in London. So this data center is about like far away, and you have to have connection via dedicated line. In UK we have called BT, British Telecom, and you connect via this and access these servers, and all your users and clients also access from these data centers. It was quite tedious before, no? But now, since the introduction of virtual machines, everything is very simple now. So you can see that. So let me remove this. So you can see this. All of this is investment from the first service going we're going to look at, as you know, virtual machine service. Let me remove this. Yep. So right. So this is a service which is provided by Azure, which is a virtual machine, a compute service. Yeah. So in if you are using a virtual machine, basically Microsoft provides all these data centers in all over the world. It's kind of a similar process, but you don't have to spend too much having your own data centers and accessing that data and your machines from resident. But this way now is like these big companies like Azure, AWS, Oracle, GCP. They've got their own data centers and you connect it from there. So these one of the so you don't have to buy and invest in physical hardware. Oh my God. Right. So obviously, like now we don't have to buy a physical hardware. It is already managed for you. Microsoft maintains several data centers located across the world, like I just said. Yeah, you can use a virtual machine service to host a virtual machine. So this service, which is provided by you, and this is where you can host a virtual machine. That means you can create a virtual machine. Yeah, such as web servers, database, um, and you can have either Windows or you can either have Ubuntu services. There are also lots of appliances such as Citrix servers. We can go into detail later on. Yeah. So this entire data center um, is managed by. So this is like your Microsoft data center. It is managed by your Microsoft. So you don't have to worry about anything. They will look after everything. You just have to have a portal via internet, which we call Azure portal, and you can manage that, right? And right, so let's talk about, like, regarding about, before we get into practical, I just quickly just talk about building a virtual machine here. So this service that allows you to host virtual machine on the Azure cloud network. Yeah. So to Azure cloud network, which is involved in the deployment of virtual machines. So basically, this service mean, what do you mean by service? Just as a general, what service means. Say for example, like in your area, you got a taxi service that you call the service to take you from A to B. Like, so you call a taxi, you call the Uber, so that giving a service. Yeah. Same like these. All right. Okay. So yeah. So this is like Azure provides about like 120 services, such as your SQL service, compute service, Azure networking services, compute services, database services. So one of that service, like I just mentioned, is a compute services, and in compute services you can host your virtual machines in there, right? That could be either be a Windows machine, or that could be either your Ubuntu machine. Okay, so exactly the same way, like like you have a physical machine in your home, like the one you're using just now. You need to have a CPU, you need to have a memory, which is RAM, and then you have got operating system in there. You have NICs means network interface cards. You have got BIOS, and what else do you have? Storage, like you can have storage, but these are all physical, so you can touch them, feel them. But in virtual machines, you can't see them, you can't touch it. It's virtual. Do you understand? That's, that's it. So that's what is virtual machines. Normally when we talk to lots of students, and like not even normal people, say what is cloud, they think just cloud is just a storage where you save your photos and pictures. But that's what cloud computing is. You can that transform the whole world, and you can use that way into virtual. Everything is virtual now. Okay, so this is a compute service that allows you to host a virtual machine on the Azure cloud network, which is involved in the deployment of a virtual machine. So we need to know, like, you can have a different sizes of machine. You can have RAMs, like in normal computer. How much RAM do you have? 8 GB. So you can have like 4 GB. You can have multiple vCPUs. You can have lots of RAM in Azure, and you can also choose how many disks do you want for your computer. What is the underlying operating system do you need, the network details of the machine, how much you need. Okay, so so all of this, um, say for example, in Azure, or we will have a look in Azure Marketplace. This has a built-in templates that you can choose from. For example, there's a template for Ubuntu, so they're all built in. So for example, if you want, just say Ubuntu this version 22.04, so you just click and just create, that's it. So you don't have to go and search for operating system, manually install it and all that. It's templates there already, such as Windows 2019 server, such as Windows 2022 server. That's all servers based. So mostly what we'll use in our AZ104, all server based, which I use in like in corporate environment, not like Windows 11. You can use that, but that's a different topic, which normally we has got virtual desktop environment. But we'll be using a server environment. Like I said, you can choose virtual machine size, you can allocate hardware. Apart from this virtual machine itself, there are other resources created on the Azure platform to complement the Azure virtual machine. For example, we need to have a network. Just for example, I can give you um, like in your home, you have your Wi-Fi network, yeah, router, and it is connected to internet. So you gotta did your telephone company gave you this connection, and then after the connection you got Wi-Fi router, and then you got mobile is connected to this one, your computer connected to this one, and all of them getting IP addresses. Yeah, so exactly the same way in virtual machine, you need to have a network, which you have a NIC in your machine, and you need to have a network router, and we call it in our sense who will give you IP, which is called virtual network. And then you have got subnets. So these virtual network we can show, we can create a, when you go into details, we'll have a look what we can do, and I'll explain to you. So each device will give you an IP address, and this helps in identify the device. IP address, you know that like it's a unique IP address that on your machine, and basically it's like an address of a machine. A network allows devices to communicate with each other. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. My name is Cash. As you guys know, I'm from Cloud Soldier. As I've got my student with me, Umar. How are you? Good, good. So today's topic is, remember we done last time about compute resources and that managing, deploy and manage Azure compute resources. So what we're going to be doing this. Uh, so one of the services we do to look into that, we will create a virtual machine, right? And as you know that this is our Azure portal, and you go to access this portal, you type as portal.azure.com. This is my subscription. You can see that this is my personal subscription, pay as you go. And as you know that when you want to try and test an Azure subscription, you can create a free account, and in this free account you will have a $200 credit. So whatever services you use, they will deduct that money till 1 month, whatever you use, and after 1 month you have to switch back to like pay as you go or some other method of paying to the Azure services. Yeah. And this is general introduction. So this is where you can create a resource. You can create from here. If you just type in here resource group, you can create anything from there. Also, if you go back to home, you click here resource group, you can also create a resource group from here. Also, this is your favorites, so you can have your virtual machines, all your services you want to access them quickly. This is your intro ID, which is Active Directory, and so these are all other services. And what else shall I show? So yes, so this is where for you access your Cloud Shell, which is like PowerShell in Azure. So these are your notification, so that gives you anything you have deploying. It will give you a message that has been succeeded or failed. These are your settings. Which directories do you have, appearance do you want, all the setting. This is your search for help, you can ask. And what I was about to tell you, so this is what about. So what we'll do in this lab, so we will create a virtual machine, and 1 second. Right, so what we'll do, as we discussed in our first module, which is deploy and manage Azure computer resources, we will create a virtual machine. Like I said, you can have different way to create. Say for example, if you go here, go to virtual machine, you can create from there this way, create, and you can also create from, go to marketplace and say search for virtual machine or any, yeah, virtual machine. You can create this way. See, virtual machine, you can create it. So normally I just go over here and create a virtual machine. We can close this. As to save cost, I will create a separate resource group. So let's go and create virtual machine, Azure virtual machine. we create an so resource group is like a group, a place, a logical entity where you can um, have all your resources in an isolated way. So that means they are not part of something else. Is for that group only, just like your own domain. What is this coming? Okay, so we create a virtual machine. Create. Right, so so this is something new. Cost indicator here. Just giving a price, don't worry about it. So we create a new resource group. We call it, say, demo VM. Demo. Okay, and we call it Rashid. We call it demo VM1. And so these are the regions. Like you have got Microsoft data centers all over the world, and whichever is closest to you, you choose this region. So you are in Milan, is it, or Italy? Which one is close to you? Not Europe. Not Europe. So as I am in UK, so I'll use UK South. Availability zone. We will discuss this in our future chapter, so just leave it for time being. I don't want to explain this, so we just leave it as it is. So basically redundancy, when we go to that chapter, we'll explain that. So these are all the sizes. Run with Azure Spot discount. So it is like a service from Microsoft that Azure Spot offers unused Azure capacity at a discounted rate versus pay as you go. So just leave it for time being. So these are all the sizes of the machine. So let's choose a B1S because we're doing for it's a quite cheap. You can see that monthly cost £26, but the storage costs you all the time, so you have to make sure we delete it to save cost. So we choose. You can see also all the sizes here. You can see, yeah. You can see all the big. So at the moment we're choosing this one. So select that. Just leave it as it is at the moment. We call it username, say Azure user. Password we can give is right. So you know that when we need to access this machine, so we need to open this, leave this port open, RDP, remote desktop protocol, which is 3389. Yes, I confirm license I've got. Then we go to disk. Never, don't worry about it. So this is the OS disk where the operating. So basically, these are machines which we're creating. They are built-in templates for every machine, so you don't have to install operating system or do anything. It's all done magically for you. So just click create and it's done for you. Maybe you don't remember, in old days we used to have like a disk, operating system disk with the zip format. You know what's this called? I can't remember that name. So you have to use that disk, install and operate on the computer, then install all the drivers to work with the machine. So that's all gone. It's so simple now. So for OS disk type, so this is your operating this system space. So we choose
cheaper version, standard disk, SSD, solid state drive. So this is local standard. Delete with VM. Yes, whenever you want to delete all the stuff, make sure you delete this drive. So otherwise the disk will be shared there, it will cost you. So make sure this is ticked. Okay, that's done. Networking. We're not going into too much details, so it will automatically create you a virtual network, a subnet, and a public IP address. Public IP address to give you an access to how to access this machine. It will give you, so for example, from your home, you'll be able to connect with this machine while using a public IP address. But in production or in offices, we do not use public IP address. That's a no-no because because it can create to compromise with hackers and stuff. So there are different measurements. We can put different firewalls and stuff locally and externally to access this machine, allow traffic accordingly to the ports. So leave this. This is network card security group. You just leave it basic. So NIC security group means this will filter traffic incoming and outgoing. So leave it basic. Allow selected port, that's fine. Management, just leave it as a default. Monitoring, we don't want to monitoring in the moment. When we get to the chapter, we'll do that. It's advanced. Extensions, select extension so you can install the extension like disk extension or Microsoft monitoring management extension you can install. So at the moment we're not doing this. When we get to that chapter, we'll do that. Custom data, you can install up like a software, like a, say for example, your web server or something while the machine is deployed, so it will install it for you. Yeah, so we can put some commands in there. Just user data performance, we just leave it for timing. There's no need to learn at the moment, so we just do tags. You can put tags such as say engineer, you can type it. So this is the reason we put tags, so we can for billing purposes, so you can find out in which resource group who created which machine and we can track of it. Yeah, just click review and create. Never, so it will give you a summary. So validation is passed, so it is giving you all that summary, subscription, resource group, and all that. You can see that we are deploying B1 size. Click create, and it is creating a machine. So see in notification, you can see the deployment in progress. Let's come back when it's done. Right, we just back and you can see in the notification that this has been created, your deployment is successful, and we can go to resource and you can see that this virtual machine has been created. So we just leave it here now, and in our next lecture when we come back, we will show how to go over this page and how to connect to this machine. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching this video. Please if you like and subscribe, this will motivate me to create more videos, and I will be really thankful to you guys. Thank you, Omar, for joining. So let's see you in the next video. Thank you. Ash again, welcome to my channel, Cloud Soldier, and as usual I've got my student with me. Omar, how are you? Good, good. If you remember, we are doing this Az-104 series, and we are onto that module, deploy and manage compute resources. And in our last video, what we have done, we created this virtual machine using the services. Now in this video, what we'll do, we will try to go through this page and try to connect to this machine. How to connect? Yeah, as you can see, this in notification period, excuse me, in this sorry, in this notification period, you can see deployment 688. We got this video, just close that for time being. And if I show you something, so like So you can see that. So this is the way you connect from here. You can restart from here, you can stop from here, you can delete the machine, you can open in mobile and all that. This is CLI PowerShell, and you can see these things. So this is your overview of the machine. So this is your overview of the machine. You can see this properties of the machine. This is a computer name, generation v2. This is operating system Windows 11. This is what we chose, and this is the public IP address, and it also given a private IP address for you locally. So this is our virtual network, and this is our subnet. We will go into details when we go into our networking part here. So at the moment we're just concentrating on virtual machine. Yeah, so we can see all that. At the moment you can see this is the size of the machine we just deployed. Yeah, and RAM is 1 GB and you got one CPU. Yeah. Right, and yes, apart from that, if we go to right, so these are all the panel on the left hand side, how to connect, networking, settings. We'll all go into our details, but at the moment this is out of scope, so there's no point going. So I'm just showing you. You can click there. So we are mostly interested in that we are going to connect to this machine. So we click connect. Let me rub this 1 second. Right, so you can see that before I go there, let me show you something. I've got some slides here. Where was it? Here, like right. So this is what we're doing at the moment. If I just connect this again, so we are trying to connect to the virtual machine. 1 second, is that working? 1 second. Yes. Right. So you can see that this is our connected machine. So from your laptop, so this is your laptop here, and this is your internet at home, and you're trying to connect to this whole thing we created in our Azure portal. So this is your virtual machine, and you need to have a public IP. So connect to this network card, and the network card will present you this virtual machine. We got operating list here, network security group here. So basically from your laptop we need to connect to the virtual machine via internet. We connect to the machine via a public IP address. Yes, so if I go back quickly to right, so what we did, we connected from the connect button. Remember we went over here, we go back, click connect this, and let me again do this. Right. So this is our username we create, remember, and this is the port 3389, and we are using a remote desktop, and we will before I go into this, let me go to um, show you a little bit again what we've done. So we created a resource group, do you remember? Demo VM, and in the demo VM you can see all of these resources we created. So we if we do grouping in by type, so this is our disk, this is our network card, this is our security group, this is our public IP address, this is our virtual machine, and this is our virtual network. So while we keep going on, we will be doing go into every single topic and explain that. But at the moment, I'm just telling you that this is our scope. I mean, just showing you that all these resources created in this resource group just to we have so to provision this virtual machine. So we go directly to this virtual machine from here. Okay, and then I'll show you again how to connect. So connect. Don't worry about connect by bastion. We'll come into that part again. So that's for basically a quick definition is that if I show you a bastion is means that your you are not using public IP address, but you can access uh, with a public IP provided by an Azure, and you access this machine inside the portal using that public IP address, but it's secure. That's way in a short way. But we're using this way at the moment. Connect our general purpose. So this is a public IP address. Yeah. So we'll copy that. And before we do that, we need to download this RDP file. So if you go to that RDP file, click connect. So it already gives, so we give username. So we put a password we gave when we created the machine. Yes. Just fine. Yes. Ah, that's amazing because it is quite a low size, and sometimes it can give issues. It doesn't connect. Let's see, will it be able to connect or not, because it's only 1 gig of RAM, and that's why it might take. But you never know, it might be connected. Sometimes it works. So let's see when it's come back when it's connected. Yeah. Right. As you can see that it's struggling to connect to the machine. So definitely, according to my experience, it's a size issue. So I close that. We disconnect this. So it is giving an issue. So what we can do, if you go to left hand side and type search and type size. So that's the quality of virtual machine. You can see in the side while the machine is running. So at the moment, we remember we did B1S, which is only one RAM, which is 1 gig of RAM, and one CPU, and it's costing £7. So what do we do? We just upgrade to say which one? We shall try B2S. Let's resize. You can see that we are resizing it. And do you want to resize the machine? Yes, I want to do that. So it takes in the background trying to resize it, and then we'll check it's been resized, and then we try to connect again and see how it works. Right, so let me see. Right, as you can see, if you go to notification, successfully resized to standard B2S. Tell me where would I find this to make sure it is standard B2S size? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Umar. Hello? I'll say, where would I check it again? The size has been changed. First, I thought I lost your connection. Okay, yes, where? Yeah, see? It's changed. B2S, yeah? And the RAM is 4 GB. Let's connect again. Okay, go to connect. Close that. We don't need a screen. Connect. Just download again if you want to. We should have used the same one, doesn't matter, but we can use this one. Password again. And let's try again. Maybe sometime I was put wrong one. Don't ask me again. Do this again. Yes. So hopefully that's this quicker this time. So let's see. B2S. Right. So we are logged on. So don't worry about it. Just settings. Accept. Here we go. It's brand new. Your Windows 11 machine. Just in a matter of minutes, you can do that. That old days is gone. It was unbelievable, but now look at the technology. It's unbelievable. So you can use everything. Right. So we have successfully created everything, and if we go to command prompt, you can see our IP address. See, this is IP address 10204 that's been created. I hope this is very informative how to connect to the machine. So what we'll do, make sure we to save cost, we must go to overview and go to resource group. So you can go resource group also from here, and we delete this resource group to save the cost. Otherwise it will give us all. And make sure apply force delete to force selective regime, and everything we need to delete it. So copy that, demo one. Yeah, sorry, I copied that anyway, so just copy and delete it. Delete. So it is deleting everything we created. I hope this is informative for you guys, and please motivate me by liking and subscribing. And any question, please put in the comments, and I will come for the next topic, which is virtual machine. We have done deploying a virtual machine, building common. So we'll see. Next one is so we have done connecting to virtual machine. So what we'll do in our next, installing internet information service, so which is a web server onto the machine. Yeah, we'll come up with our next video. So thank you very much everyone, and thank you for joining. So I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.